Assistive Technology in the Classroom by Gianna Lombardo. The clinical definition of dyslexia is a specific developmental disability that alters the way the brain processes written material. Dyslexia is one of the most common language-based learning disabilities and is the most common of reading, writing, and spelling difficulties. Of the people who suffer from learning disabilities, 70 to 80% are likely suffering from dyslexia. Out of the entire population, 15 to 20% suffers from symptoms of dyslexia. 13 to 14% of children are diagnosed with dyslexia and qualify for special education services. 50% of all students identified for special education are diagnosed with a learning disability, and 85% of the students identified for special education services are diagnosed with a primary learning disability in reading and language processing. This map of the world illustrates the percentages of dyslexia in different regions. 15% of the population in the United States suffers from dyslexia, as well as 13% of the population in countries surrounding Russia, 5% of China's population, and 16% of Australia's population. Understanding dyslexia. In the wise words of Dr. Marianne Wolf, education researcher and dyslexia advocate, dyslexia is a different brain organization that needs different teaching methods. It is never the fault of the child, but rather the responsibility of us who teach to find methods that work for that child. The difficulties characterized by dyslexia include accurate and/or fluent word recognition, poor spelling, and lack of decoding abilities. Problems in reading, comprehension, and reduced reading experience can impede growth of vocabulary and background knowledge, so exposing children to books and allotting time for individual reading or listening to an audiobook is extremely beneficial for their education. Accommodating students with dyslexia in the classroom. Audiobooks are a great alternative to simply reading a book in the traditional sense. Audiobooks provide students with dyslexia the ability to listen to the story and follow along visually. Receiving information both visually and audibly reinforces word recognition, improves fluency, builds vocabulary, and supports the development of comprehension skills. Providing written notes for dyslexic students is beneficial as they can focus on the lesson being taught. For children without a disability, it is difficult to follow along with the lesson and what information the teacher is delivering, while also taking notes. This would make it extremely difficult for a dyslexic child, as they are trying to write the information on paper from the smartboard and listen to the teacher. This causes an elevated risk of confusing words, concepts, or phrases. If the notes are provided to a student with dyslexia before the start of the lesson, they can follow along without having to worry about copying the information correctly and focus on the delivery of the information from the teacher. Verbal responses are an excellent way to retrieve answers from a student suffering from dyslexia. Oftentimes, written responses mask a student's actual thoughts, making it more difficult to write down and put into words the message they are trying to convey. Grading written assignments based on content boosts the confidence in the student. Children suffering from dyslexia are not dumb or spelling words incorrectly because they are lazy or giving minimal effort and don't proofread their work. Red X's, circles, and crossed out words lower the child's self-esteem and confidence. Critiques of the paper should solely be left on the content and whether the information was correct or incorrect. Removing time limits on assignments and tests alleviate the pressure of completing a task in a strict amount of time. Time limits are very stressful to everyone, and the added stress on a child suffering from dyslexia is much greater. By eliminating the time restriction, it will allow the students to completely gather their thoughts before and during writing without the stress of worrying about how much time is remaining. Assistive technology for dyslexia. There are countless websites and apps available for students suffering from dyslexia, each providing different resources. Calendar apps are available for planning, time management, and organization, as well as for graphic organizers. There are apps available for audio to text and text to audio translations, as well as specific apps and websites for noise canceling, writing assistance, word prediction, spell checks, grammar, and note-taking. iStudies Pro is an Apple app available for smartphones, iPads, and even Mac and PC computers. It helps students track school assignments, manage projects, save notes, organize tasks, and create complicated schedules. Read and Write app exclusively for iPads offers an alternative keyboard to help with writing. In addition, it offers dyslexia-focused word prediction, dictionaries, and other tools. Also, when viewing online content in Safari, simply highlight text to hear it read aloud. Natural Reader uses Mac and Windows software to offer text-to-speech and a talking dictionary for use with Microsoft Word, PDFs, and other websites. Natural Readers highlights text when reading aloud and offers larger fonts, typing echo, spell check, word prediction, and OCR technology. A guide for teachers and parents for children suffering from dyslexia. Offering consistent support and encouragement for children suffering from dyslexia is crucial in their success. Small comments such as "great job" are a confidence booster. Listening to a child's feelings is extremely important. Sometimes it is difficult for children with dyslexia to convey how they are thinking or feeling. By allowing them to talk to you or you asking questions on their understanding of schoolwork and just being a shoulder to lean on and listen to is also beneficial in their success. Rewarding good efforts will not only raise confidence and self-esteem, it will continue to motivate the child to work hard. Patience is the key to the child's success. Common tasks are already so much more difficult for children suffering from dyslexia than children who don't. Children with dyslexia often get frustrated, and a teacher's or parent's patience with them is key. For example, rephrasing the directions on an assignment displays patience and care by the teacher or parent in their willingness to create an environment where the child can thrive and succeed. Patience and understanding will motivate the child to continue their hard work.